gamer. I was a gamer when I was growing up, kid gamer. I played Nintendo, I played Super Nintendo, and then I switched over to PC games. And Half-Life was what came after. It was all the great, awesome 3D driven gameplay. Plus now they'd weave this unbelievable story, for you to go on this journey and play this character. And so it was like nothing I never experienced. You just get sucked in and it just stayed with me. When I came to LA, I worked on producing a play, and Bernhard was one of the actors in this play. And then one day I said, Bernhard, you're like a dead ringer for like a movie Gordon Freeman. I'm like, let's just make a fan film and just do it for fun. No one's ever played Freeman, and can we legitimately do it? And I tracked down this head crab mask that Steve Wang had made for his son. And then once we had this in our hands, like this head crab mask, it was legitimate. We could legitimately make a film for no budget, for fun, and it not be terrible. Once we had the suit and the head crab, then we picked a location that we knew we could shoot at in Hollywood and wrote a little story around that, and that was kind of how it came to fruition. We spent no more than a couple $1,000, and that was it. The first film was no budget in Hollywood. There was no casting crew really to speak other than the friends that were involved. A challenge to try to do it without spending any money, because we really didn't know what the response was going to be to it. It was a creative process for us, so it was a tiny micro production.
Okay.
So the door goes down, then you turn, what's he looking at? You can't see, you come around, holy shit, what's with this? Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. He's going to bring you back, or you're going to pull him back this way.
Okay.
The sequels, we had a much more significant budget. Not significant for an action movie, but the Freeman Chronicles, the next episodes are going to have locations, they have costumes, they have special effects. It's probably a 50 times bigger event than the first production was. There was a lot more people involved in making the film. From a production standpoint, there's been a lot more people in the post-production phase involved. There's a handful of people doing 3D effects and 2D compositing from all over the world that have asked to be involved, or that we've asked to help. Or the film is on a totally different scale than the first one. There's no comparison. They share some of the same elements, the head crab and the same characters, Bernhard and Mike Wallace. But yeah, there's nothing similar about them other than the style.
This is after the grenade.
Before and after. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of action. But I always think basic law of action is. Working with Bernhard and Mike is an interesting process, because we prepared more than any other of the actors in the film, because we spent more time together and we spent more time talking about it, and they were roles that were already set. Bernhard is tough because his character is odd in that he rarely speaks or doesn't speak, so there's not a lot for him to do in terms of dialogue in the films. So it's a lot of body language and the way he's looking and what he's doing during the scene. So we knew we had to play with that, and then we had the voiceover, same as we did in the first film, to introduce more of his character. And the same with the Evan character. We wanted to introduce more of his character in these episodes, and he's the kind of driving force in the story, keeping things moving forwards. We went with a kind of ex-military-ish type of a feel for that character. He's not a bumbling idiot type, probably former special forces or former Marine. Mike Wallace, the guy that plays the Evan character, is kind of like a happy-go-lucky, fun guy. So quite a turnaround for him to play that incredibly focused, determined hero. So we had some fun with that. When we did the Kickstarter and we originally set off on this journey, we really didn't have any idea. Me and Bernhard didn't have any idea what we were getting ourselves into. There was points where it legitimately didn't seem like the film was going to be able to happen. it became about not letting anybody down and not giving up, you know, because we've promised that we're going to do this, and even if it takes longer than we said it would, I'm not going to back out now. It's great interest from fans online, and it's a special project that's close to my heart. It's become my full-time hobby, you know, or job outside of my real full-time job, and it's taken, you know, years longer than we expected to take, but those years have spent making the project better. It's been a long road, that's for sure, a very long road.